And so today, we focus on one component of our alliance in particular, space, understanding the connection to our shared priorities on the issues of security and prosperity for our nations. In our last meeting together, Mr. President, we agreed that we would strengthen our partnership on space. And to that end, earlier today, our governments signed a joint statement to strengthen that cooperation. With regard to this afternoon here at Goddard, we discussed our cooperation on the issue of space exploration. Notably, last year, South Korea placed a satellite in lunar orbit that carries a high-resolution camera from NASA and will continue to work to search for water on the moon. South Korea will soon fly payloads through NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services Program. I like to think of it as our version of a rideshare program for space exploration. And in the future, we look forward to expanding our collaboration on the Artemis program, which will return astronauts to the moon for the first time in 50 years and lay the groundwork for our mission to Mars. With regard to the climate crisis, we agree the climate crisis poses an existential threat to our world, and to meet this threat, we must partner together to use satellite technology to monitor the impacts of that crisis on Earth. As one example, together our nations have built and placed satellites in orbit that can track air pollution in North America and Asia. Today, I have also directed the National Space Council, which I lead, to expand this network to ensure that it also covers the Southern Hemisphere, specifically the continent of Africa and South America. This cannot be a global initiative if any nations around the world are excluded. President Yoon, as you establish a national space agency, we look forward to continuing our priority on this very important issue of addressing the climate crisis. And finally, regarding our work on space, our two nations are also working to establish international rules and norms for the peaceful and responsible use of space. 1 year ago, I issued a challenge to all nations to join our commitment that I made on behalf of the United States to not conduct destructive, direct ascent anti-satellite missile testing. You and I discussed this topic during our meeting last year in Seoul, and following that, you joined our commitment. In fact, I am pleased to report that thus far, 155 nations have supported this effort at the United Nations. We are also grateful for South Korea's signing of the Artemis Accords, which will help create a safe and transparent environment for the civil use of space.
Last year, I laid out the Space Economy Roadmap, which aims to put Korea on a solid path towards becoming one of the world's top 5 leaders in space technology by reaching the moon for resource extraction by 2032 and landing people on Mars by 2045. And under that vision, we're in the process of establishing a Korean equivalent of NASA called KASA to spearhead this initiative. I look forward to valuable input from NASA in shaping KASA through personnel exchange and other means. Once again, I'd like to reiterate the significance of this year as we celebrate the 70th anniversary of the U.S. ROK alliance. The best way to celebrate this momentous milestone is for us to work together to elevate what has been so far a shared value-based alliance into a full-fledged, broad-based alliance with space collaboration leading the next 70 years of this alliance. It is my hope that the Space Alliance we will forge will go beyond cooperation in space technology and space economy to ultimately encompass space security. In closing, I hope that today will go down in history as the day when our two allies took their first step towards forming a space alliance that becomes the impetus that stops climate change. Thank you.